The Black Friday sale is a once-a-year chance to buy something you want at the best price of the year. Save $1,000 and pay only $999. That's only $19.21 per week for 365 days of your favorite capper at WagerTalk or SportsMemo.com. Use coupon code BF999 at checkout when purchasing a one-year all-access pass. This offer does expire Friday, November 27th at 11:59 p.m., so do not miss your chance to save $1,000 off and lock in your favorite capper for the next 12 months.
Welcome to Wager Talk Today. Teddy Covers called the over in the Houston game yesterday. Nicely done. And me, the Prez, Lawrence Presman. I'm very sad today, Teddy. Let's wrap up this show. Thanks for coming out, everybody. I'm gonna go suck my thumb in fetal position. Okay, what's going on this show? Dave Cokin. Boy, do we love this guy. Coming on, talking Penn State, Michigan, LSU, Texas A&M, Pitt, and Clemson. And then Rob Veno at the back end. Chargers and Buffalo, Bears and Packers, and a Duke, Georgia Tech game. Ralph Michaels, of course, and you. Teddy, lead story, Dallas and the Prez meltdown. They are linked. There is a link between the meltdown. Just go.
So Lawrence, let me ask you this: were the Cowboys you're picking the Survivor contest by any chance yesterday? Which I'll give you credit to make it this far in Survivor is a heck of a way to, it's a good accomplishment.
No, we slept through getting our Survivor pick in, so we didn't actually get a pick in.
Really?
I feel a lot better with that than taking Dallas.
Yeah, well, I mean, so the fact that you had to put Survivor picks in over Thanksgiving with a 2-game card, I got to say, for a contest that I like, it's not a rule that I like. But when you think about, and because that game came down to one fake punt decision that was unconscionable. It's a 20-16 game in the fourth quarter. Dallas is backed up deep in their own territory. They have 4th and 10, and they run a fake punt that sends the guy, was it 25 yards behind the line of scrimmage? behind the yard to gain. It was a bad fake punt. It was poorly executed, and the timing on it was a little bit shocking. It's a 4-point game. But you still have, 11 or 12 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It's a no-brainer there. You punt, and you let your defense get the stop. Didn't happen for McCarthy and company yesterday. And, of course, Cowboys Packers paid the price.
Teddy, I had a problem with a whole lot of stuff McCarthy did. I mean, I don't understand why on 4th and 1 in the first quarter they went for it. Not only did they go for it, they threw it like Andy Dalton, some, God that I'd put the ball in his hand at 4th and 1. With that said, blatant missed call by the ref on pass interference there, and something that I actually felt that the turning point of the game was there, Teddy, was on that 4th and 1. Zeke fumbled like a twit. Lamb drops the ball in the end zone on a great pass on 3rd and 9. It was just an absolute comedy of errors. But look, add all of that to the fact that they lost both their guards at the beginning of the game. That does not help. Look, Dallas was the wrong side. But Carm and I spoke about it, and hats off to Dave Cokin. He released Washington to his clients and had another winner. Carm and I spoke about it. There was never a moment where we were saying, because we couldn't take Houston. We had already taken them. We wanted nothing to do with Detroit. So it was Washington or Dallas. And there was never at any moment a time where we were like, Washington. We were, after Dallas almost beat Pittsburgh, then they beat Minnesota. They've got all of these weapons. They're at home. There was just never a moment where so I can't sit here and say I should have taken Washington. It never even came up.
So what's really interesting about what's happened in the marketplace, Dallas looked good against Minnesota. They looked like a real team.
Yeah.
Yesterday at home against Washington, they didn't. So what we've seen in the last 24 hours is the markets look at Minnesota and say, you guys stink. We're seeing a bunch of Panthers money come in today because the Cowboys looked so bad yesterday. So it's really interesting to see how the markets are going to react to one team looking good one week and then not looking so good the next week. They're saying their opponent is garbage.
But Teddy, that's, we should actually talk about that really quick. But before, Minnesota's on my short list to release for Sunday. And I went through that exact thought process last night. Take them off the list. They must be so bad. But hey, that might give us a lot of value on Minnesota because Dallas was nowhere near the same team that they were 2 weeks ago. And Minnesota is likely not going to be the same team they were last week. So maybe that gives us a real opportunity here with Minnesota. I made the mistake of jumping on Dallas. I released it as a 5%. I made that mistake based on, what I saw in Pittsburgh, what I saw in Minnesota. Their offensive line was coming back. Their defensive line was coming back. I don't want to miss out on. I think I'm going to end up releasing Minnesota. What do you think specifically on that Minnesota discussion?
So the Panthers haven't had a bye week yet. So that's certainly a concern for me. And Carolina's coming off a win. Minnesota's coming off a bad loss. And your point about what we saw last week is not necessarily what we're going to see this week is true in the NFL and every other sport. What you're trying to do is handicap that game that day. And last week's results have an impact on the point spread, oftentimes more than they'll have an impact on the results. I'm not getting involved in the game, Prez. I believed in Minnesota prior to last week. I thought they were coming around. It was a tough spot for them off the 3 divisional games. Certainly coming off that loss to the Cowboys, we would expect a concerted effort against a tired team that's coming off a win. And yet, I like the Panthers' character enough and question Minnesota's capabilities enough that I'm certainly not going to lay more than a field goal with them. 3.5, the current number. I wouldn't be surprised if this gets bet down to 3 by kickoff on Sunday.
Teddy Covers the Prez. You're watching WagerTalk Today. I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I know it's an important holiday in America, and I hope it lived up to your expectations. With that said, I hope 2020 has lowered those a little bit. Let's bring Dave Cokin in. Dave, before I even ask you hello. How are you, my friend? What's going on? And nice call on Washington. I wish you would have called me and talked me off of Dallas yesterday.
I never try and talk anybody off anything.
Yeah, especially women.
I'm not concerned with what anybody else plays, and I just go with my own stuff, and that's it.
He's
somebody
so cool.
likes the opposite side. They might be right.
Teddy, seriously, how cool is Dave Cokin?
He's as cool. I mean, in terms of the coolness factor, Cokin's 11 out of 10. Yeah.
So listen,
I mean, you're just cool, Dave. It is what it is.
Not a single comment here on, look at this.
Oh,
he's all
got dressed up for the show this morning.
Dave
I never get dressed up.
Spectacular. We
Goddamn
love
right.
you, dude. Damn right. Guys, before we get into it, I got to tell
there is
everybody.
an explanation for this.
Okay, go.
I'm doing laundry today, and the hoodies are all in the washing machine right now. So it's shit. I got to put something nice on.
That's your. Oh my God. Dave Cokin's first laundry of 2020. Dave, you got a 5%.
I wish that was true.
Dude, let's promote you. You got a 5% play in college football on Saturday. You are on a 10-0 college football 5% run. 79% in your last 14 months of 5% plays across all sports. There is literally no other. You guys buy one play in the next year, this is it. Saturday, Dave Cokin's 5% college football play. Dave, you want to talk about it quick, and then we'll get into your games?
I think it's a good play.
And there you go, people.
Well, no,
Dave
I don't know what else
Cokin,
to say. I mean,
you should do infomercials, Dave.
I'm not. I'm not real big on hype because it's one game, and let's face it, I was real lucky to keep the streak going last week because I had the wrong side with Auburn against Tennessee. That was dead wrong side, and I got really lucky on a 100-yard pick six and a field goal from 50 yards out with a minute to go in the game. But sometimes you get good breaks. But it is 10-0 in the 5% college football plays going back to October of last year. So, and I like the chances of this one getting there. There's a little something built into this one that there's an intangible factor that I think, for me, pushed it over the top. So we'll see if it gets there. I've got, I'm having a really good week, really good. 4-1-1 to start the college hoops. It's actually 5-1. I think everybody who bought the Arlington play got a push, probably won it. Wrapped up baseball, number 1 overall at WagerTalk. Thank you, KBO, which was
I was
very,
number
very good.
2, Dave. Dave, I was number 2, and I wanted to beat you so bad. I'll admit it. I really wanted to kick your ass.
Well, number 2 is pretty good, too. It means you had a good season.
I did. Yes, but I really did want to. Go ahead.
I said it's going quite well right now, and I'd like to maintain that. I got one college basketball play today. I did play a college football game today, and that is a free play. So I did not do a video this week. I didn't want to ruin anybody's appetite on Thanksgiving, so I decided not to do a video. But I did post the play. It's on my homepage at WagerTalk. And it's on one of today's college football games.
Dave, let's get into the college football card. Penn State +2 versus Michigan. 58.5 is the total. Really curious where you're going here. Just 2, letdown seasons for both of these teams. Which one's going to put a W up?
Well, this is the same old story. My numbers say that Penn State's the right side, but I'm not. I bet on them once. They win the yards by like 1 million and lose the game. They're a mess. They've got off the field problems. I can't take Penn State. And the flip side of it is Michigan's just not very good. Now, they did make the change at quarterback. Maybe that'll help. At least they got a win last week. It wasn't an impressive win, to put it mildly, against Rutgers, which isn't much of a team. And the Rutgers quarterback, who can't throw, had a great day throwing the football. So, this is one of those games that is attractive in terms of marquee appeal because you've got 2 really big names. But the reason I wanted to talk about this game is this is, for me, a really strong pass. There's some games that I think nobody should bet this game. I know that people will because it's a big TV game and they want to have action on it. But this is, to me, what separates winning bettors from action junkies who never win, is the willingness to look at a game and say, this is a game where neither team rates getting bet on. And I can't stress that enough. I think this is a really strong pass, the strongest one on the entire board.
So as you're talking about passing, we're seeing a sharp money move at some prominent, influential offshore global books to Penn State. I'm seeing Penn State now as a favorite in Ann Arbor at one of those books. What are they betting then?
I don't know. I guess the numbers. Because I've mentioned this before when we talk about Penn State. Most power ratings are done on a gradual sliding scale. You don't see power ratings overreact to one game. So even though Penn State's had 4 games, they've clearly gone down in their power ratings. It hasn't been a massive drop. And on top of that, they've won the stats for the most part in these games. So they're not supposed to be 0-4. They're supposed to be like 2-2 or maybe even 3-1. I think the Iowa game, they lost the stats in the Ohio State game, but they're supposed to lose to Ohio State. The other 2 games, they won the stats and convincingly won the stats against Nebraska and against Indiana. Nebraska, well, that's not a big deal because Nebraska's not much of a team. But the Indiana stats are really impressive considering what the Hoosiers have done. So the math guys are still going to gravitate to Penn State, and they don't play team. This is the one argument I have. I understand the concept of play numbers, not teams. But I've always felt you've got to play numbers and teams. And at some point, you've got to just look at your Penn State numbers and say, they're not very good. They're just not very good. And then you add in the off-the-field problems. I'm not playing that team, and I don't want the other side.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes total sense to me. Dave, LSU, another team that is just not having the season that they would like, playing Texas A&M plus 14.5. It must be 2020. Where are you going in this game?
Well, it's an interesting game because now we're getting it. The first set of playoff rankings have come out. And now we start to look at teams that are just outside the top four that feel they have a chance to make the playoffs. And we've seen this now for a few years where teams that are in that situation, the teams that are like 5 through 8, they consider style points to be important. And guess what? They are. Because I don't think there's any question the committee looks at a 40-13 win more than they look at a 20-13 win. So Texas A&M falls into that category. They're, what are they, 5th or 6th right now? They're just outside the top 4. They have a chance to make the playoffs. They need to be impressive. They want to make sure that they're impressing the eyes that matter. And I think that factors in here against an LSU team that doesn't have a very good defense, an LSU team that beat them up last year, so you've got a substantial revenge motive. And it's one of those games where my number isn't as high as the line, but I think the intangible variable does fit the Texas A&M side, and I would look at the Aggies here. I think if they've got a chance to win this game by 3 or 4 touchdowns, they're going to make sure they do so.
Do you worry about the back door here at all with LSU? Their defense hasn't been good, but their offense is certainly capable of putting up points, even against a defense like that of Texas A&M.
You know, the thing is, if I have to sweat a back door, so be it. But that means I've got the spread covered at some point. So you always have to sweat the back door, I guess, if it's close to the spread. I was sweating it last week with the Tennessee-Auburn game. Sweated it twice, in fact. In the Tennessee-Auburn game. The first time they got through the back door, and then I got the field goal, and they didn't get through the back door the second time. If you lose a game that way, that's just the way it goes. To me, if you get backdoored, it means you probably had the right side in the football game, all things considered, because you were on the favorite and they were past the number. If A&M gets past the number here, I think they're going to continue to play hard on defense just for the reasons that I mentioned. So, if A&M gets up by 20, I'm going to feel pretty comfortable about A&M covering the 14.5.
Teddy Covers, Dave Cokin with us. You're watching WagerTalk Today. Guys, thanks all of you for being here. Hit that like button, please. We really need it. Dave, I'm in play on this game. Pittsburgh, Clemson. I'd love to get your opinion. I've already made my bet. Where are you going with us? This is
Pittsburgh. Excuse me. Pittsburgh's pretty good. They've won the stats in every game this year, if I'm mistaken. In every game that the quarterback was on the field, because they had that.
With Pickett.
Right, with Pickett. Yeah. The games he missed, they weren't very good, but there was a big drop off, bigger than I thought, from Pickett to the freshman who wasn't very good. So Pittsburgh's decent football team, and I do wonder about the rust factor for Clemson. They haven't played in a while, and even Trevor Lawrence, he hasn't played in even longer than that. So, and see, Clemson's in an opposite situation from Texas A&M. When you're in the top 4, you don't have to impress anybody. You just got to win the football game. And that's all what Clemson needs to do here is just win. Win this game. Don't get into any trouble. Get a rematch with Notre Dame if they can. And that's the game that's going to decide whether they're in the playoffs or not. If they have a rematch with Notre Dame and win, they're in. If they have a rematch and lose, they'll be a 2-loss team and they're out. So The idea here is just to get through with a win. And Pittsburgh, I think, is good enough to give them at least a test. It's a good test. I don't think Pittsburgh's going to beat them. But I think at 24, Pittsburgh's got a chance to hang around.
Dave Cokin, everybody. Dave, you're normally on this show every Thursday. Yesterday was Thanksgiving. I hope you had a wonderful day. I appreciate you.
Tell you how good the day was. Yep. I was not going to go out any place. I just you can call me chicken if you want, but I'm a good friend of mine got it this week, and he's been sick, and no thanks, don't want it. So, but I have friends, lots of friends. I had 2 Thanksgiving dinners delivered to me yesterday. One was a prime rib Thanksgiving dinner. The other was a turkey Thanksgiving dinner. I had a real good day. Plus, I went 2-0.
There you go. Guys, make sure to get down on Dave Cokin's 5% college football plays, 110 straight. Dave, we can't thank you enough for doing this. As for prime rib, that's a real American thing. I don't know if you know that. Up in Canada, very rare you go out and somebody's serving prime rib. Anyway, what? You like prime rib, Dave?
Yeah, I love it, especially if it's not overcooked. I like it rare.
Yeah.
Juicy, get the orange juice in there, and then, it was sensational. It was absolutely awesome. I want them to cook me some more, but I might have to wait till next Thanksgiving.
Dave, Teddy's rolling his eyes already. Oh, my God. Prez has gone off topic again. Freaking prime rib. Anyway, you're our prime rib, Dave. Now get out of here. Quick break. Right back with Teddy's Bad Beats and Rob Veno, some NFL.
It's not a secret how much free quality information WagerTalk, SportsMoma, and the Gold Sheet produce. And next up, we're giving out the WagerTalk College Basketball Guide. This might be the most informative collection of sports betting info we've ever produced. We're covering returning starters, offensive, defensive, and tempo rankings, recruiting rankings, head coaching info and background, and so much more. Even if you are the casual basketball fan, head over to the Ralph Michaels page and download this amazing guide for free.
It's time for Bad Beats, Bad Bets, and Bad for the Books. A little recap of what happened in the betting world on Turkey Day here in the U.S. I'm sure there were bad beats in college hoops. No one sent any to me, and I didn't see any myself, so I can't tell you what they were. But bad bets, certainly, there were a couple that stood out. There was New Mexico money at Utah State in college football yesterday. New Mexico went off 6.5 point favorites. They haven't won a game since, last October? They didn't win this one. Aggies were the right side. Bettors got that one wrong. And, of course, the wise guys like the under in Washington, Dallas. That, too, crashed and burned with that bizarre fourth quarter meltdown from the Cowboys, starting with the fake punt. Under looked good until the fake punt. After the fake punt, the under was toast pretty quickly. Bad for books. We talked about all the success that favorites have had on Thanksgiving Day, and that tends to be not so hot for bookmakers. Dave Sharapon on earlier the week saying that bookmakers are saying if we can break even on Thanksgiving, we did good. Well, let's see. The wise guys hit Washington pretty hard. That was bad for the books. The public hit the Texans and over pretty hard. That was bad for the books. And in college hoops, everyone bet the Zags and the over versus Kansas. Those two bad results for the house. So yet another Thanksgiving where bettors won, bookmakers not so much. Back to you, Prez. There you have it for bad beats, bad bets, and bad for the books.
Why, thank you, Teddy. Did you have a good day yesterday?
Life-wise or betting-wise? See, betting-wise,
life-wise is the only thing that matters. Like, betting, in all seriousness, like, dude, come on, man. I mean, we're going to go up and down in betting. We can't judge our lives by that.
Are you in a better mood when you're winning versus when you're losing?
I'm in a very bad mood. Yes, which sucks.
Would you have had a better day? Would you have had a better day yesterday if the Cowboys would have won and covered than if they didn't?
Dude, I turned Viv down. I was so mad. What else do you
It's
want
a
me
yes
to
or no
say?
question. I'm asking yes or no question.
Yes,
Would
yes,
you have-
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes,
So you're
yes.
telling other people not to do what I
I
say,
know.
not what I
I'm
do.
a better coach than I am a person. What could I tell you, dude? I'm a
Clearly.
hypocrite. Well, I mean,
So
what do you want from me?
Yesterday, you asked me a question. Now I'm ready to answer it. Did I have a good day yesterday? I had the Texans. I got to sleep in yesterday. I woke up just in time. Literally, I haven't slept in past 10 o'clock. I don't even remember the last time I slept in bed. It was well into the lockdown. And I woke up, turned on the TV, and the first play I saw was J.J. Watt's pick six. And then the missed extra point, which made me crazy. But when you wake up to that and then your team rolls, yeah, it was a good day overall, brother. And then, Thanksgiving dinner didn't get ruined. It was fine.
Yeah, that is good to hear, dude. I want to welcome everybody in. Sports Actuary, nice to see you. John Hagan, Roger Dorio, Mitch. You like your name so much, you doubled it up. Some Lawrence Presman guys in the chat room. What a putz he is. Elliot, we love seeing you, all of you guys, man. I hope you had an incredible Thanksgiving. Please hit that like button, guys. We need it. It's really important to us. Teddy, we have a massive, delicious promo going on. Rob Veno and Gianni, 1 and 2 at WagerTalk.com in the year 2020. We have like 5 weeks left of the year. These two guys are absolutely dueling. We have a belt. We actually, one of the so one of these guys is going to be the number one handicapper at WagerTalk in 2020, and they're dueling. Guys, if you head over to the website, you can grab each of them together, a combined package for $398. I don't think there's a promo code, so it'll likely be on their pages. Hit either Gianni or Rob Veno. $398 for both of them, and watch them duel. Speaking of which, let's bring Mr. Veno in. Robert.
Good morning, gentlemen.
I see you did your hair.
As always, a special
I know.
occasion every Friday around 12 noon. I decide to do it before I enter this broadcast.
Excellent stuff. I notice your background is still as spectacular as always.
Yeah, it kind of describes me. Just ho hum, go about your business. Blue paint. As life-wise conservative as you can get.
No, your hair does that. Guys, just a quick give you a quick update. As I said, we have a new backdrop for the Prez. If you guess what city it is, you get $25 free. Here it is. Nobody has guessed correctly so far, so just tweet it out.
I don't interrupt you often, Lawrence, but that might. Who thought of that promo? That's all I'm going to say. There's a reason that no one sent it. Yeah.
No,
he comes on the show with some. Oh, look at the city behind me.
We had
that's
some
his promo.
guys.
Everyone's all excited.
Teddy,
Rob, let's talk.
I'm not fighting with you anymore till Monday. And we had some guys guess #WagerTalk Today, $25 free. Rob Veno.
How are you,
Thank
Prez?
God you're here, man. Rob, let's get into it, dude. Chargers,
Sure.
Buffalo. I know you like the over. So do I. Tell us why.
Well, I mean, the simplest form is that there's no reason to get off that train, right? I mean, the Chargers have gone over, I think, 7 consecutive games now. The average game result, 60.6 points per game. So that's, well above the 53 we're looking at right here. If you just take 53 as the number, which I often do when I'm handicapping totals, how many times in those 7 games during the Chargers 7-0 span have they made it over 53? The answer is 6. And all 6 of those times they've scored 57 or more. So gotten over by more than a field goal, which in totals world is fairly comfortable. When you look at their defense, guys, and the overall statistical numbers will tell you one story. It'll paint the Chargers as a average to above average defense where NFL total yardage defenses are concerned. But the fact that during this 7-0 overrun, they've given up 29 to Jacksonville, 31 to Denver, 29 to Miami, and 28 to the Jets. Guys, those are your 21st, 27th, 29th, and 32nd ranked total yardage offenses in the National Football League. So the Chargers defense obviously helping these totals along, even though the total yardage would tell you a different story. These pass offenses, 2 and 3 in the league. Pretty good weather in Buffalo Saturday, so you would expect the ball to be in the air from the Bills and the Chargers. Bills' run defense would be the only weakness I see here, or for an additional weakness for the Chargers to exploit. 29th in the NFL. So certainly LA could make some yardage there. I thought last week that when Joey Bosa came back for the Chargers, that might make somewhat of a difference against the Jets pass rush wise. It did not. The Chargers only had 1 sack in that game. So I don't know that Joey Bosa gets to Josh Allen here multiple times in this game. Even if he does, Allen's been sacked multiple times in a game and still had big yardage games. Bills themselves 7-2-1 over the total. I mean, the reasoning here, the list of pros to the over here just keeps going up and up and up. So I'm on over 53 here. I think that's probably a pretty safe bet.
So I certainly lean in that direction. I have 2 concerns that have kept me from getting the betting window with this over. First, I'm worried about Buffalo's red zone offense. They continue to get to the red zone and then kick field goals. Second, I'm worried about the status of John Brown, the Bills' underrated receiver. Look at their numbers with him in and out of the lineup this year. It really stands out. I'm not sure that he's going to play on Sunday. Any thoughts, Rob?
Yeah, and in the additional notes here, Teddy, where personnel is concerned, I have Buffalo possibly getting Josh Norman back at cornerback for this game. He was on the COVID list, and of course the John Brown and Dawson Knox. No practice on toward the middle of the week. We'll see. NFL injury status is so hard to gauge this year. I usually judge by Friday practices. We'll see how those come out. I will say this, to offset the John Brown, you may get Austin Eckler back in the backfield for the Chargers. He's at practice all week long. So Austin Eckler's certainly a major upgrade over Kalen Ballage for the LA Chargers. That may offset the John Brown absence. If he does not play.
Rob Teddy, mid-major Matt just said John Brown is out, O-U-T. And if anybody knows, it's that guy. Rob, before we get into your next games, I got to just hijack the show for a sec.
Mm-hmm.
Joe and I have been laughing hysterically. So I turned to Joe and I said, hey, Joe, what is the city behind me again? Teddy picked the city. So only Teddy knew what it was. And Joe is like, I don't know. And I'm like, I don't know either. So Teddy, way to come up with a genius promotion where we don't even know the city, and yet we're trying to use it as part of our promotion. What city is it again, Teddy?
So, Lawrence, if you're going to try to blame this bad promotion on me, okay, when I didn't think of it, didn't come up with it, would have absolutely told you not to use it had you come to me prior to coming to our show. And then now you're like, oh, Teddy, you thought of the city. The fact that you botched it so bad and you don't even know the city, you can't even grade anyone a winner, tells me you're out of the promotion loop, Lawrence. No new promotions for you moving forward.
Teddy, pick a city.
Atlanta.
Pick a city. Okay, anybody who guessed Atlanta, you are right. Tweet me. Teddy, great freaking promotion idea, and way to try sell me under the bus right now. Rob, it's my bloody partner every day. Bears and Packers. Interesting game. You're on the total. Packers can score at will. Bears can't score at all. I'm curious where you're going with this.
Yeah, I like it under Prez. 45. There were 45 and a halves earlier in the week, but I think 45 is what we're looking at right now. And I'll say this for the Bears, it's one of those backed into the corner desperation type games. They have the extra week to prepare here. They're 2 games out in that division. They do play Green Bay twice within the next 5 weeks. They play 4 divisional games within the next 5 weeks. So this is the start of a real stretch for the Bears where they could make up ground with victories. But I think that their defense obviously always comes to play. I think they'll be a little more motivated here because of the situation that they're in. They're also, if you want to look at the Bears as a wild card team, they're still a game out of the final wild card spot as well. So a lot of reasons for the Bears with 2 weeks to get ready for Green Bay, especially on the defensive side, to be pretty good in this particular contest. I think that for Green Bay here, guys, if you look at their last 4 games, I just don't know how well they're playing overall. If you start 4 games back with Minnesota, Dalvin Cook ran wild. You go to the San Francisco game. San Francisco was crippled with injuries. You go to the Jacksonville game. This team trailed 20-17 in the fourth quarter. By the way, a team that Green Bay should have scored at will against wins that game 24-20. That stays under this particular total. Jacksonville nowhere near the defense of Chicago. And then Indy last week, they give up 420 yards. This is a pretty good elixir for the Green Bay defense. They'll get the Bears offense, as you mentioned, Prez, which we have no clue. I don't think we have a clue at this point in time who's going to be the quarterback here. It's surprising to me that Nick Foles is even under consideration after seeing the injury that he suffered last week. Mitchell Trubisky, obviously in consideration. Tyler Bray in consideration. Neither one of those quarterbacks thrills me against a bad Green Bay defense. So the Bears probably do what they always do, go out and get between 13 and 17. But I do think that defense can hold Green Bay to 27 or less. If you get the maximum final score out of what I just said, 27-17, you hit 44. That's an under. I think that's about as high as this game gets. So that's where I'll go with this game, under 45 points. If it reaches 44, maybe reconsider a little bit. But at this point in time, I like under the number.
And of course,
Rob
the latest
Veno
is that Foles has been downgraded to doubtful. And the latest, Lawrence, has been when it gets back to you, Lawrence. Do you understand?
Way to tell me
no,
that
I said when it
gets
back to you. I sent you the note when it gets back to you, which means not you come in next.
So
you know how it works.
First you screw up a promo that we've been running for 3 days.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Teddy.
Rob. So Nick Foles has now been downgraded to doubtful. There are many books out there. There's some books that haven't posted a number on this game. But a good handful of books have had a number all week. And they say it doesn't matter whether it's Foles or Trubisky or Bray behind center, that makes a 0-point differential, both side and total. Agree or disagree?
I agree. I don't know that it makes a difference, Nick Foles. I don't know that it makes a difference, Mitchell Trubisky. I don't know that it makes a difference. Well, maybe there's a slight difference if it's Tyler Bray. Perhaps you have to account a point or so with Tyler Bray in there. But the other 2 guys, this quarterback situation is so interchangeable. Nothing's gotten going offensively all season long. So I can see where books would put up a number and not be afraid at who the starting quarterback for the Bears would be.
Rob, we only have a minute 30 seconds. Duke, Georgia Tech. I know you like the over. Give us a real quick synopsis.
Well, sometimes you notice things in teams, guys, throughout the season that go a little bit unnoticed. But for me, it's when Duke can run the football as a first option, they're an over team, period. They have 3 games to prove that example. Syracuse, a bad run defense. Duke ran wild. The total got the 62. Charlotte, a bad run defense. Duke ran wild. The total got the 72. Virginia Tech, a bad run defense. Duke ran wild. They got the 69 points. They're much better when they don't have to rely on Chase Bryce and that passing offense, and in particular that pass protection to protect him, because they're miserable at doing so. Here they get a defense that ranks 14th in rush defense in the ACC. Expect Duke to run real well. I can make the same exact mirror case for Georgia Tech. Better when they can run first. Jeff Sims, their true freshman quarterback, needs a running game to get going. They've got a lot of weapons, a lot of speed. But when they can run, they're better. And Duke is the 9th rated run defense in the ACC at 178 yards per game. So I think both fit hand in glove fundamentally. To me, this number at 58 in good weather was a, some people might be missing the boat here, but I'll be there. I'll be on Duke, Georgia Tech over 58.
Rob Veno, you and Gianni dueling for the number one handicapper at WagerTalk for the year 2020. Guys, you can get both of their plays till the end of 2020 for only $398. Regular price $698, so $300 off. Just head over to WagerTalk, hit on Rob Veno, and there we'll sit. Rob, you are amazing. We love having you. You're killing it in NFL, so congrats. And NBA starting soon. You absolutely dominated that last year. You're the best. Get the hell out of here. We're going to take a quick break. Teddy's big game breakdown, and of course, the pen coming up.
Who will finish 2020 ranked number one overall profit across all sports? Yanni the Greek and Rob Veno. They've been battling back and forth all year long for that top spot. Currently, though, Yanni the Greek is at 246% in profit, and Rob Veno is at 210%. That's a total combined bankroll increase of their clients of over 456%. We want to give you a chance to lock in the nation's top two handicappers in 2020 for the rest of the calendar year for only $398. That is a $300 discount, and this offer will include all client releases, including 5% best bets from both Yanni the Greek and Rob Veno.
It is time for today's big game breakdown. Let's talk some college football this afternoon. North Carolina and Notre Dame, a huge ACC showdown, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 here on the left coast. This one, a national TV affair. Right now, we're looking at the Tar Heels about 5.5 point underdogs. Total's been bet all the way up to 70. I'm going to lean towards North Carolina plus, and I'm going to lean towards the over in this one. Now, look, it's a Tar Heels offense that hasn't seen a defense anywhere near as good as Notre Dame's all year. All right. We saw Notre Dame get lit up by Clemson, but not on the ground. In fact, the run defense has only allowed more than 100 yards twice all season for Notre Dame. Through the air, however, there could be some legit vulnerability here for Notre Dame because they haven't faced any really good offenses except for Clemson's. When you look at the offenses they faced, Notre Dame's in the top 8 offensively in the ACC. They played Louisville, who's number 6. They got rocked by Clemson, who's number 1. The other 5 teams in the top 8, they haven't faced in the ACC. Tar Heels have the most efficient passing game in the league. They play with pace. They have speed. They have skill position talent, and they take shots downfield. On the other end of the equation, Florida State ran for 241 against them. Virginia ran for 210. Virginia Tech got 260 on the ground against them. So I think Notre Dame's going to move the football up and down the field on the ground. I think North Carolina is going to have success moving the football through the air. And when you read some of the Mac Brown quotes on this game, Mac Brown, I'm excited to see who we are. These are not the ones you get uptight about. The ones you get uptight about are the ones you're supposed to win, like Florida State. We went down there and lost. That one hurt you. This one's a fun game for us to throw everything we've got at them and see where we are. No surprise if North Carolina hangs around here. No surprise if this game ends up being a high-scoring shootout between the Irish and the Tar Heels. There you have it, Prez. Big game breakdown. Back to you.
Teddy's big game breakdown. Teddy, I'm in play on that game. I got to play up for our customers right now over at WagerTalk.com. So loved hearing your thoughts. Ralph Michaels, the machine, the pen, the professor, the shadow. Ralph, nice to have you with us, brother. Love the move, Ralph. How was your Thanksgiving day yesterday?
Oh, good. Thank you. So watched some football, watched some basketball, hung out with some friends. So all good.
Excellent stuff, man. What do you got for us today?
Teddy, do you want to see a deer in the headlights eyes look?
Yeah.
Here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Prez, you didn't email me your friends of the play day, so make sure you have your clients play in the top of your head when we get to the end of the segment, because you'll be giving it out with the analysis. So be ready for that in a few seconds. Every Friday, Prez. We started last week.
Wait, Ralph. So basically
Yeah.
what you're saying is you didn't prepare friends of the play day and you're hanging it out to me. I will give
We talked about it last week, Prez. Every Friday is Prez of the Day. So it's
Prez
simple.
of the day. Okay. All
right, here we go. Here's the angle.
I'll give it out.
Not yet.
No problem.
Not yet. You have to wait.
I know. I listen, Ralph. Unlike
Jeez.
Teddy, who picks pictures of cities he doesn't remember, I listen.
Oh my God, that's a beautiful shot of Atlanta. Who are you kidding? All right, angle of the day, guys. I may have used this a few weeks ago, but it makes sense, and it's in play this weekend, and it's in an NFL game. I actually lean the other side of this game, but hey, my opinions don't matter when we're going over these angles because it depends what you think about the situation. So, simply, you want to fade an NFL team that trailed by 11 or more points at halftime in their last game and won. So Indy trailed 28-14. So you have a team that has to come out of halftime fired up, have a big second half, overcome at least an 11-point deficit and win that game. You're feeling good about yourself. Simply, what happens the next game? You're 29.7% against the spread, going 19-45-1. And Teddy, we've talked about this often too. Even though most trends we want to look at an ATS number, when you look at these teams in this situation being an average line of a half-point favorite, and they're only 40.6% straight up, that to me makes that trend even a little bit stronger.
And it's one, again, does it pass the does it make sense test? Yes, it makes sense. A team that gave extra exertion down the stretch last week, oftentimes doesn't have the same level of energy the next week. So it makes sense. You get a little bit of line value, and there's some significant injury concerns on the Indy side there with DeForest Buckner. Is if there's one guy that defense needs, it's DeForest Buckner. He's not going to play against Derrick Henry and company on Sunday.
And the situation of the day was something Teddy reached out to me and asked me to run. So let's go through the numbers. It's only to be used game 2. And basically, Teddy wanted to know what happens if a team covers by double digits in game number 1, or what happened if a team fails to cover by double digits in game number 1. And both results, are pretty astounding. It's the positive, which is 56%. The negative is 44.5%. So teams in game number 1 of their season, if they're off a double-digit cover exceeding expectations, they have gone 55.7% in game number 2. Teams that got blown out or just failed to cover by double digits in their opening game have gone 44.5% ATS since 2006. And if those teams face each other, I did look, there are none today. There are no teams playing today that covered by double digits against a foe that failed to cover by double digits. But take a look tomorrow and take a look the rest of this week. If you find that situation, they have gone 67.7% against the spread. So, Teddy, it was a great query. I appreciate you opening my eyes to it. Are those the results you expected when you sent it to me?
Absolutely. They're almost exactly the results I expected. So I'm glad to see that played out. What that is telling us, it's telling us when the markets are very wrong about a team in game 1, they don't make the appropriate adjustment quickly enough between game 1 and game 2. It tells us that for both sides, if they're wrong about a team being better than they thought they were going to be, or if they're wrong about a team being worse than they thought they're going to be, when you have those disparate ATS results where a team is significantly off where the markets predicted them to be, that tends to carry over into game 2. And if you can find those matchups, a team off a double-digit cover versus a team off a double-digit non-cover, 68%, I mean, that one stands out to me. I didn't know it was going to be that high, but I expected it would be profitable. And at 68%, that's something I'll be looking for in game 2 of the college basketball season this year.
And Teddy, for Monday, I'll go ahead and run what the totals were, just so we know, we have that in our mind. So we know that teams that change pace, Vegas takes multiple games to catch up. If someone blows someone out for 2 games, Vegas may be catching up by the 3rd game. But if someone changes tempos and games are going over or under by 10 points, I think that may last a few games longer until we see the Vegas adjustment.
Good stuff, Ralph. What else we got today?
Well, that's it. I'm going to turn it to Prez. Prez, are you going to go with the same game that you had for today, or are you going to go for one for tomorrow?
No, dude. I'm going to go for a Sunday NFL play. I am curious, though. I think, Teddy, you're on a 10-2 NFL run. 10-2 NFL run, everybody. Notice I'm the one giving out the Friends of Ralph play. My only guess, Ralph, and you can agree or disagree, Teddy's just not a friend of yours?
No, but Teddy gives enough content out during the show. He goes big game breakdown. He goes into other situational plays. So we,
Do you know why that is, Ralph?
Well, because Teddy doesn't want to look at the computer screen and interact with the people on. So someone actually has to talk to our viewers.
Yeah, that, and he's never even said, hey, Prez, why don't you do a big game breakdown? Hey, Prez, why don't you do Bad Beat? Anyway, and it's a good thing at that, because you know what, Teddy? You do a killer job. Anyway, no analysis whatsoever, but my play that I'm giving out as Friends for Ralph, it won last week. I had the Cleveland under. This week, we are going to the Atlanta Falcons over the total, playing the Las Vegas Raiders. That is a play I will be selling. That is now a play that is free to anybody who listened to the show. Las Vegas and Atlanta over the total.
Awesome.
Ralph?
Nice job.
Go ahead, Teddy.
Yeah, just real quick. That is one total, but right now there is significant variance in the marketplace. You can bet over 52.5 right now. You can also bet over 54 right now in Las Vegas. So one where you may want to shop around to be sure you're getting the best of the number. That screen is not
guys,
I'm 53.
I'm good with you guys going all the way up to 54 on this total. I absolutely love this play. And if you guys want to hear some analysis and thoughts behind it, check out the NFL presidential address. Myself and Mid-Major Matt. Ralph, real quick, Black Friday promo. When does it end?
You have 14 hours. Tick, 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 tick. The clock is running. It's been an overwhelming response, and it's exactly what we expected. We've never offered this low of a price. This truly is a Black Friday, once-in-a-year type special. Imagine paying $19 a week for your favorite handicapper. Less than one play. Well, that's what the $9.99 breaks down to. Go to your favorite cappers page, hit 12-month all access, which says $19.99. Use the coupon code BF999, and you are set for the next 365 games. Every sport that service does. An amazing, amazing Black Friday deal. Our way of saying thank you to all our new customers at WagerTalk and Sports Memo, and our way of saying thank you to all the customers that have been with us for the years that WagerTalk has been in business.
Ralph Michaels, everyone. I want to thank Dave Cokin. Make sure to play his 5% college football play. Rob Veno, make sure to check him and Gianni out as they duel for the #1 handicapper at WagerTalk in the year 2020. I want to thank Ralph, Teddy, Joe Ranieri, all of you guys for joining us. And Teddy, perhaps for the last time this year, I'd like to wish you a happy birthday, my friend.
Yep, I appreciate that, Lawrence. How's that city and the Mech? I mean, so the thing is that when you say this stuff, or haven't we learned this already over the last however many years? When you say lies over and over again, people believe them. Stop. Thank you so much for watching over the course of this week. Have a very happy Thanksgiving. We will see you on Monday. Enjoy the games and good luck this weekend. Thanks for watching WagerTalk Today.
A Black Friday sale is a once-a-year chance to buy something you want at the best price of the year. Save $1,000 and pay only $999. That's only $19.21 per week for 365 days of your favorite capper at WagerTalk or SportsMemo.com. Use coupon code BF999 at checkout when purchasing a one-year All Access Pass. This offer does expire Friday, November 27th at 11:59 p.m., so do not miss your chance to save $1,000 off and lock in your favorite capper for the next 12 months.